I'm Richard.
And I'm Will.
And together we're
The Irreverent Nerds. Bum, bum, bum.
Hello, fellow nerds.
Hello, nerds.
We are here to entertain you.
Join us.
That is our purpose in life.
Purpose. It is 42.
So, it is Monday night. Looks like this is going to be our recording night. We are set to release this episode midnight on Wednesday. So Will and I just finished watching the DC animated feature, The Long Halloween Part 1.
Parte uno.
Say, Parte Uno.
Parte uno.
We will be offering a review of said film later in the episode.
See.
But for now, we are going to do our 2.5 minute drill. Because we're nerds, we can't just do a 2-minute drill. It's got to be 2.5 minutes. So, you want to go first?
Are you turning on the stopwatch?
Yeah, I got the stopwatch.
Wait, am I asking questions or am I?
No, this is just what's going on in your life.
Okay, well,
ready, go. 2.5 minutes.
Sometime last few weeks, my wife Mandy was watching YouTube just randomly a fan film I made over 12 years ago before we met in 2009 came on. Well, it wasn't a complete fan film. It was a failed Ghostbusters fan film that me and Tom Gray, second founding member of the Central North Carolina Ghostbusters. Sorry, I gave it away.
I remember this. Yes.
Well, she saw that. She's like,
no, it's
so
okay.
Cute.
By the way, we live in North Carolina. Ha.
Ha ha. Anyway, so she's like, that's so cute. I want to do a fan film. Let's make a fan film, Ghostbuster fan film. I want to be in it. And I was like, yeah, at first I was like, well, I wasn't planning on making a fan film, but then later I went insane. And
You went insane?
Yes, I've gone insane, and I'm like, we're designing her costume right now. I'm working on her character for the potential fan film. I don't know if it's gonna pan out or not. I contacted Ken Buchanan of the Hickory Ghostbusters today, and he told me, he'd love to be in it and help out in any way. So right now, I'm just gathering my resources. My Ghostbusters, the video game Proton Pack, is almost finished. Only got the Proton stream and the slime blower. I didn't do the other stuff, but so I'm going to make something for Mandy. It's probably going to be some proton pistols because she complained and said my pack was too heavy. We're kind of making her a cowgirl Ghostbusters, so that fits. Well, that's one thing happening. That's like what I've been obsessed with. Makes
sense, man.
Did I run out of time?
No, you got 30 seconds.
Okay. Dan Johnson keeps asking me when I'm going to get that coloring done on the work we're gonna sell around. It's not the right word.
Tell the nerds who Dan Johnson is, for those who don't know.
I don't have time in 10
you got
seconds.
15 seconds.
But he used to write for Dennis the Menace, Mark's Trail. He used to. I'm in the National Cartoonist Society of the Southeast chapter. He knows Marcus Hamilton. I'm under pressure.
I give you a few extra seconds.
Under pressure.
We'll tell you what. We'll do the 2.5 minute drill each,
well,
and if we want to,
awesome. He's a longtime friend of mine, and I didn't know who he was when we became friends, but he's helped me get a lot of gigs. Not always paying gigs, but gigs.
Hey, man.
Yeah, and he's written a manga, and he's a writer. He's written a bunch of graphic novels for Campfire publisher, Campfire graphic novels or whatever they're called. He's worked for Charlton Neo with Roger McKenzie and Paul Kupperberg, and I was working with him for a bit, but nothing I did got published to them. He got turned down. It took like a year just to tell us no. But he used to be an editor at Charlton Neo, Empire Comics Lab. He's a writer, editor and writer. And I think here recently, well, definitely Redline Comic Studio, which is not a small-time publisher, but is, a comic studio. I think he founded that. He got me to. He's always including me. We were usually pretty tight. I haven't put out as much work as I wish. Just busy, struggling with mental health issues like brain fog and depression and stuff since 2016. Don't like to talk about that anymore, but hopefully I'll get oh, we're doing this podcast. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, hopefully I'll get a lot more work turned out in the future. So Dan is asking me, I'm supposed to be coloring this thing for Redline Comic Studio. And I don't know. There's not really much else to report. I'm still drawing this Benai comic story for a client, and that's been going on for 2 years now. I'll eventually get that done for the client, and he'll get it printed and published.
He's not in a hurry.
Nope. Well,
it's like a personal
he
project.
wanted it done by the October 2020, but it wasn't happening.
You need to get your tunnel vision.
He forgave me.
Down for that, right?
What now?
You need to harness your tunnel vision for that. Just like
yeah. I have ADD, Richard. I don't have tunnel vision. I'm not on the straight and narrow.
Or maybe it's more like
the side quests are the main
those of us who, which I've not been diagnosed, Will actually has. So, but those of us who have ADD, it's hard sometimes to harness our tunnel vision. It comes upon us.
Oh, that tunnel vision.
Even when we don't wish it to be there.
Well,
my wife frequently complains about mine. Like I get like zoned out or focused on something that I think that I'm trying to get done, and it's like everything else gets like tuned out.
Yeah, either I'm not focused at all or I'm too focused on the wrong thing.
All right, well, let's keep this thing moving here. I'm going to do my 2.5 minute drill. So let's see. Yeah, we're tweaking this thing along the way too. Like if it ends up being a little more or a little less, then that's okay. So let's see, 2.5 minutes. What has happened in my life over the past week? I'm tired. That's nothing new.
Yes.
So
need to bring up the energy.
New baby is still waking us up multiple times a night. So I've been usually at least once during the night I'll try to just hold her for like half an hour so that Laura can sleep. That's my wife's name, Laura. And so I've been watching Netflix basically while I do that. Like, so I was watching this. I guess this is like a prequel for later, but what have I been watching? In the middle of the night, I've been watching Space Force actually on Netflix. It's quite funny actually.
Cool.
Created by Steve Carell and Greg Daniels of The Office fame. And it's got John Malkovich is in it, Andrew O. Yang, who's also a very funny stand-up comedian, and a number of other funny. Several other like A and B listers, if you will. And I've been enjoying it. It's really funny, and a little bit of sci-fi in there, but it's mostly a comedy. And it's pretty good, and it's comedy with heart. As Greg Daniels does a good job.
I would have expected more sci-fi since it's called Space Force.
Well, it's about the actual agency that Trump created. So they took that idea and ran with it and made a show. Okay,
I was thinking so it's Star Trek Lower Decks, or
it's like tongue in cheek. So like, and Steve Carell plays a boss. What else?
Shocker.
Who somehow stumbles upon victory, similar to like Michael in The Office. So Michael is like successful, but he's an idiot. And this guy's he's not exactly an idiot, but he's somewhat of an idiot. So it's kind of a similar vibe, except it's military.
Sometimes
So he's like-
idiots are my favorite.
Anyway, but I've been enjoying that show, and then obviously I've watched The Simpsons, which we are going to do an episode one day
I would
on
love.
The
I
Simpsons.
love The Simpsons.
Yeah. Will actually introduced me to The Simpsons.
I love it.
What was it?
I know more about it than Batman.
Well,
stuff.
then we
Well, I
definitely
love Batman, but
we definitely need to do. What we should do is a Simpsons
I meant
episode.
Marvel and DC.
We
Yeah.
should highlight a Simpsons episode about Batman. If there is, I'm sure there is one. It's been,
I'm sure.
it's been around 30 years. I'm sure they've done one at some point. Or
Adam
like
West
Michael,
has been on there.
has he? Oh, that would be
It
perfect.
would be impossible for him not to have been.
I know. For they had so many other celebrities on there. Mel Gibson's been on there, and like
Tons.
just so many other people.
Rodney Dangerfield, he had a character,
Yeah.
a recurring character, like 2 episodes or something. He was Mr. Burns' son. Yes, no respect.
Excellent. Homer Simpson. No. That's something.
That's
I
great.
played around with that for one episode.
Harnessed your voice talents.
Yeah, like I played around with that for one
Or not.
episode. I did like a Mo Sizlek reads Shakespeare's sonnets.
Oh my gosh!
It's like, but my voice wasn't
That's
very good that day. Like I
great.
think that's when I had COVID, so like I couldn't do a very good Mo impression that particular day. But I've also been watching more Simpsons recently, so it's easier to do it once I've been watching it. It's like I was trying to think of a funny bit where like who different people Mo could have a conversation with, like, or like different characters. Like, I don't know if he's ever had a conversation with Mr. Burns. It's like,
That's a good question. Maybe that should be like our X-Files thing. That's a joke, by the way, where we try to figure out the truth of whether or not Mr. Burns and Mo have ever interacted at all in the last 30-some years.
yeah. So I could.
Did I derail you, by the way? I'm really
No.
sorry.
Now I'm wanting to improvise. Like, all right. So
I'm good at derailing.
scene.
I'm
All right,
always derailed.
So Mo's at the bar.
My life
It's
is a side quest.
it's 11 a.m. Mo's at the bar. 11 a.m. on a Friday.
Mo's awake at 11?
No one is there except for Barney, who's like sleeping in a booth.
Well, that makes sense.
That's
why Mo's awake. He couldn't leave. The night
So
before.
Mo's sitting behind the bar. It just opened, but Barney, of course, has been there overnight.
Well, Mo sleeps in the back room anyway.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's where he lives.
And,
his towel.
And Mr. Burns walks in, so he knows who he is because
Wait, did this happen?
No, I'm making this up as I go.
Okay.
So
I don't know if I've ever seen Mr.
so
Burns
here's-
in the bar before.
Exactly. So here's the scene. Oh, Mr. Burns there. Well, I'd never seen you in here before. What can I do for you? I would like a drink. A drink? Okay. What can I get you? I would like a gin and tonic, please. I'm sorry, I don't carry any gin here. Nothing but beer. I got Duff. Do you like Duff? No, I'm afraid not. Smithers?
You know who has been in Moe's Tavern?
What was that?
Smithers.
Smithers has?
Wasn't there an episode where
I think I've
Smithers
seen-
turned the tavern into a gay bar?
That sounds
Oh, that's right. And
sounds
Mo,
familiar.
Mo was gay for a short period. Probably until he decided he still loved Marge, but yeah.
Marge. Yeah, and then there's another episode where you found out he was like living in, or no, he rented out a room above the Simpsons garage to an immigrant family.
Wasn't there an episode where Mo or somebody was just hiding in the attic?
Yeah, he was just up, like, well, no, like Homer and Marge were up there, like, I forget why they went up there, but they started kissing, and Mo, suddenly it cuts to Mo sitting over the corner.
Yeah,
He's
I think
like,
I remember that.
Don't stop on my account, or something like that.
Yeah. I love this show. Do you remember the that one room adjacent from the dining room that does or does not exist depending on who the writer is and whether or not the room is useful?
Oh, in their house? Or
Yeah.
the Simpsons
The room
house?
that does or does not exist depending on who's writing and whether or not it's useful in the story. It's like when the bar is suddenly next to the church, but in other episodes it's far away.
Oh, yeah. My wife and I quote frequently, like, the one episode we watched together, I got her to watch one with me a while back, and something's happening to the church at some point. like, I think it's like caught on fire or something during the episode, and then it just cuts to the minister watching in horror, and he's like, "Not the church, Jesus lives there."
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Then I frequently, now that I have an iPad, which this is being recorded on, I frequently think of the Steve Mobs episodes. He's like, he talks about the MyPad. He's like, MyPad. It's a giant, expensive smartphone that you can't call anyone with.
You remember the episode where all the iPads rose to power and ruled mankind?
I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen one where Homer gets a MyPad and then it breaks and he's like super sad. He's like, oh. You know, like he has, I think he won in a contest. And he's like, I won! He's like finally won something.
It's better than a sexy leg in a window.
See, that's someone's voice. I can't do Homer Simpson's voice very well. Like, it's so hard to get his. Like,
that's true.
I did do a little skit.
That was a Christmas Story joke, if you didn't get it, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that movie, but I don't want to derail us from Simpsons.
I've never seen the whole thing. Like, okay. I've seen clips, and yeah.
It's a Christmas tradition for the Murdochs and Boyers.
Okay.
We both hate it. Well, we watch it anyway because we grew up with it.
There you go.
It's just...
I think what I saw of it didn't impress me. I was like, why is this famous? One I do like to watch is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, that's our favorite. Well, yeah, it's definitely my favorite. Mandy loves the Tim Allen Santa Claus films. You know, we have completely derailed all this.
Yes, we have. All right, so let's get to our next segment here, and I'm actually going to stop this so we have a segue. Hey nerds, Richard here, taking a moment to talk to you about the podcast. If you have enjoyed one or all of our episodes, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and or follow us. We are on Spotify, Google, and Apple. If you're listening on Apple, please take a moment to leave us a review. It really does help. And let your friends know as well. Shout it from the rooftops. Come on, you know you want to.
We're back.
And we're back. So, we're going to talk about what we've been reading.
Oh, we are? Oh, great.
So, Will, since you were just talking about it and you brought the book with you, tell me what you've been reading.
Yeah, my wife, Mandy, I've been collecting, like things like Tobin's Spirit Guide lately. That's a Ghostbusters reference. So, Mandy surprised me with a book from one of my favorite shows, and I can't believe just the high quality of this thing. It is journal number 3 from Gravity Falls, and the book was actually co-created by the series creator. And this thing is amazing and awesome, and there's actually stuff in here that supplements the show. And there are puzzles in this thing that for you to decode. I want to take a black light to this because I'm serious, there might be some hidden stuff. You watched Game Theory?
Game Theory? You mean
Film Theory, Game Theory by Matt Pat. He did this. He did. You don't know who Stan Pines is
until you've read the book.
Well, you haven't finished.
I haven't finished the series,
and I don't want to spoil it for you.
I watched like the first 2 seasons, or
you gotta watch
definitely all of season 1,
on
and so yeah, I need to pick it back up. I have Disney Plus right now, so I could do that.
Blow your mind.
Nice. I really enjoyed it. It's like it was just really pleasant. Like, it struck a chord like of like it had the mystery and it had the weird humor, and because it's a cartoon, there's something like nostalgic and comforting about it. And yet it's like on the edge of gross sometimes too, but not too gross. You know, it's like, I don't know, just it's like struck that Scooby-Doo sweet spot kind of thing, but better than Scooby-Doo, frankly.
Oh yeah. I mean, this, not to derail from the journal, but Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated is a really high quality Scooby-Doo series. You should watch that.
When did it come out?
The entire series is connected. It's one big story. I don't know.
About damn time.
2012. It's great.
That does sound great.
It's great. We should just, we should talk about that too. You would love it.
Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah, they. Man, there's so much to talk about that version.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, my gosh.
Like I grew up.
Scooby's an alien in it.
Way to spoil it. No, it's okay.
It's like Gravity Falls with Scooby.
Well, you know it. I guess so. They tried to explain why he can talk.
Yes.
It's like
yes, and it's not just the one thing. It's central to the plot.
Interesting. Okay.
Everything. Okay. It's crazy. I mean, you should see. You should see Mystery Incorporated.
I'm assuming he's from the same planet as George Jetson's dog.
No. But oh man, I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it. But that's a really good Scooby show. If you love Gravity Falls, you will love Mystery Incorporated. There is a huge mystery that runs the entire thing.
Do you know what is it on a streaming service?
It used to be on Netflix. You should look it up. It's great.
I will have to check that out. If I'm up at 4 a.m. tonight, I'll have to see if that's on there.
There is a gigantic mystery. It's episodic, but every episode ties into the central.
I love that
mystery.
I love series like that where there's this one now. There's a very different TV series, live action, but it's called The Killing.
The Killing,
and it's like a murder mystery thing that takes place in Seattle. There's not many TV shows take place in Seattle. Like I can't think of the last one I've seen that took place in Seattle. So it's like a different setting than you're used to, and it's kind of dark and dismal. But like the entire first season is like this one long arc with this murder mystery, and you don't find out who did it until the last episode or two.
Well, the entire series or the season?
The first season. Like,
oh, okay.
Like they did end up having 4 seasons, but the first season I think was the best, and it was written the best out of the 4 seasons. Like, and it just like
nice.
Yeah. So I love it when a TV series can do that and make it cohesive, even if it's just through one. Like the first season of Heroes, for instance.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Like,
I haven't seen it or Reborn. Need to.
I haven't done Reborn, but like, because it started going downhill.
Oh, really?
Like the further you went into the series.
Didn't that happen where the writing strike happened in Hollywood?
That's possible. I don't.
Yeah, but you're talking about downhill, so that reminded me of that.
It could be.
Yeah,
could be. I don't remember what year that was.
I don't know. It's a while back.
So anyway, back to your book here. Listen,
I don't want to spoil this for you. It's just there is something that just blows my mind about.
So they did a really good job, like putting clues throughout the series, and
in this book. I mean, what's the guy's name who wrote this? Is it Hirsch? I can't remember right now.
That sounds correct. I think his last name's Hirsch.
I took the cover off of this because if you take the cover off, all the copyright information is like on the cover, so it just looks like the real journal when you take the cover off.
Nice.
There is a little bit, Alex Hirsch, in the very back page.
That sounds right.
And that's why I took the cover off, because I might do some Ghostbuster fan films or something, and this is just going to be a prop somewhere.
Nice.
And it looks great.
Sitting in the background.
Anyway, in the first episode, I can't remember it all. Matt Pat did a really great job bringing this theory, and I believe this theory is actually what Alex Hirsch meant, and he hid it. I don't want to ruin it for you. It's too amazing.
Yeah. Don't spoil it for
me. There's an axolotl in the very first episode watching over Stan Pines, and that is an important clue. She is supposed to be the axolotl in the theory. But if you want to borrow this book later, let me know. But I encourage you, after you watch the full
series. Has it finished?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was.
I wasn't sure if it was still going on or not.
No. He got canceled. But I'm pretty sure Alex Hirsch said.
Was he able to complete the story?
Yeah, he was. I don't think he ever planned more seasons, so it was okay. It is completely wrapped up. And any loose ends were in this journal here.
Nice.
This published journal. I mean, and the best mysteries are the ones that you have to figure out yourself that aren't handed to you.
Yeah.
And that's what Alex Hirsch has done. How far did you get in Gravity Falls?
it's somewhere in season 2. Like that really annoying like blonde-haired child.
Oh yeah,
was coming around and doing things like I don't remember his name.
the Richie Rich parody. I don't remember.
Very annoying. Like
Yes,
that
that's
Louisiana
great.
accent,
Oh man, I wish I could do voices like you.
like an old man in a little man's body.
Oh my gosh, goosebumps, Richard, goosebumps.
Yeah, that character was very annoying.
So, wait, you didn't get how many great uncles do they have?
Dude, I don't remember. I'd have to.
You didn't
like,
get very. You got stuff to watch, man.
Yeah. I probably have to go
can't.
back and start back at the beginning, like because it's been like I said, I haven't watched it since it was actually coming out.
Your brain explodes.
'Cause I think I had like Sprint TV on my smartphone at the time, I think, and it had the Disney Channel, and like you could watch it, like the most recent
and it's
episodes.
on Hulu too.
Okay.
But you don't? Do you have Hulu?
Not currently, but I have Disney Plus. So,
okay. Well, that's
so
good.
it'll be on there.
So you are aware that they did 2 crossovers, brief cameo crossovers, it's very brief, with Rick and Morty.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
Ha!
Yes.
Sweet.
Man, but I can't tell you because you might. I don't think you're far enough in the series.
Yeah, I want to get back to it. That, in fact, I may start it back up tonight. Like that sounds like fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
I did enjoy that series.
So there is a Rick and Morty character. There's a missing character. I can't tell you who the character is because I don't think you've gotten that far in the series. But there's a missing Gravity Falls character. And in one episode of Rick and Morty are in a drive-through window getting something in their like UFO car or something, and they pass a window at the restaurant. Inside is another Rick from another dimension, and he's with this missing Gravity Falls character that are at a table together.
Nice.
This missing Gravity Falls character, I can't tell you who he is. He got sucked into a portal before the series began. He's just been dimension hopping. So, of course, he winds up with a Rick somewhere in the multiverse. The creators of Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls are friends, and that's how that happened.
Nice.
And then in another episode, a portal opens up in one episode of Rick and Morty, and they throw a coffee cup and a notepad and a pen inside. And then in one episode of Gravity Falls, a portal opens up, and those same things, but in the art style of Rick and Morty, come into their world. So obviously, I don't think that, what is that, Cartoon Network? But I don't think Disney or Cartoon Network would have, I don't know. I mean, that one
Disney did Gravity
appear.
Falls. I don't know who Rick and Morty comes out on. Is it cartoon? I'm not really sure.
Well, I mean, especially since one is for mature
The Cartoon
audience.
Network, or is it or is it Fox? I want
Pretty
to say
sure
it's
it's
Fox.
Cartoon Network. Is it Fox?
It might be Fox.
I can't remember.
It might be FX, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Thought it was Adult Swim. I don't know. I can't remember.
I just know I've seen it available on Hulu.
All I'm saying is that you're right. You're right. Rick and Morty appeared in the Space Jam 2. No, that's Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it is.
No, Fox is owned by Disney now. No, it's Warner Brothers.
Fox is owned by Disney.
I don't know the legal copyrights of that. I don't know how that.
They
Falls
just have to
character
work
appeared
out
in
a
Rick and
deal,
Morty.
you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's like...
Well, the weirdest thing is you would think the companies, especially Disney, wouldn't want an association with a M-rated show, with their kids show. But anyway, it's great stuff. And let me know when you finally finish the series. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
And if you want to borrow the book, let me know. You know,
Will do. No, I love good mystery.
Cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed the series Lost.
Don't let your girls color it like a coloring book.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Hated that they didn't tie up all the loose ends in Lost, but I still enjoyed the series thoroughly. But
Lost me. I was lost.
Anyway, let's see. Guess I'll take a couple minutes to talk about what I've been reading. So, let's see. I just started, kind of in honor of the fact that The Batman released on HBO Max today.
Cool.
I started reading a sequel novel that came out. I'm assuming it came out before the movie. I just found it today. I did a search for the Batman novelization, and instead found a prequel. So it's like telling backstory, like the chapter I'm in right now. I'm in the first chapter, but it's telling a little bit of the backstory of like Thomas Wayne and him running for mayor and stuff.
Huh.
But it's going to be basically the timeline leading up to the events of the movie itself.
I didn't know that existed.
I didn't either until today. Like I just looked it up because I thought about trying to think of things to read, and so I just looked up the Batman novelization and didn't find one for the movie itself, but then I found that instead. So I was like, okay, let's check it out.
Did that shed any light on the film itself?
Don't know yet.
Oh, okay. You're still.
I'm sure it will.
Right.
I'm sure it'll tie in, but like I just started it today.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so that should be cool.
What's that called?
I think it's just called the Batman prequel, or
Imagine
if I actually made a post about it on the Irreverent Nerd Instagram.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I hadn't seen it yet.
So yeah, anyway. But yeah, that's one thing I'm reading. See if I'm reading anything else that's nerdy. I don't know. I know one thing I want to read next, though, is the Dark Victory, which is the sequel to The Long Halloween.
You told me about that, and I will confess that I don't know if I've ever heard of The Dark Victory. I have not read The Long Halloween. I've read Killing Joke. I've read The Dark Knight Returns. I'm ashamed. My nerd card has been revoked.
The Long Halloween. You gotta. I mean, obviously that one comes first.
Yeah, we watched that, so we're going to review that later. The animated version.
Yes. Yeah, that's going to be our. What are we watching?
Yeah, but it's a shame I didn't read the comic.
Yeah. I mean, it. I'm assuming it follows. It's been so long since I read it that I don't know. I think it follows it pretty closely. Like even maybe down to verbatim like dialogue and stuff.
I'm really interested.
It's like you can't get much better than Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. I mean,
I remember those are some of your favorites.
Yeah, man, their team up has just worked really well whenever they've teamed up for things like. But yeah, The Long Halloween I think was one of the first Batman graphic novels that I read.
It was. Is that from the 80s or when did they make?
No,
that?
like it's been within the last 20 years. Like. So it was before.
I don't know. I thought it was older.
It was before. I think it was like shortly before Nolan's series.
Okay.
So
that's a lot more recent than I thought.
I think so. It's like late 90s, early 2000s, kind of in that range.
Well, no, I mean 90s. That sounds more in line with what I thought, but
yeah, because like Batman Begins came out in 2005. Yeah. So like,
and I know,
yeah.
Oh man,
crazy, right? You know,
I just got out of high school.
Well, I went to see it in the theater. Like we hadn't been friends too long at that point. Like
right,
we went to see it. You were in college already. That's where we met.
I'm old.
I know, man. You and me both.
I thought.
Yeah, remember that same summer we saw episode 3
that was
in
20,
theaters.
About 20 years ago.
Yeah, 17 years ago.
My gosh.
It's crazy, right?
I'm having a life crisis right now, Richard.
Yeah, we've been
podcast.
We've been friends for we've been friends for almost 18 years. That's crazy, right? We've been friends long enough for children to grow up into adulthood.
Yeah. You know, I know.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen. Some of my wife's family members before I even met my wife. I was watching them in children's church at my church. Didn't even know they were related. Now, I have watched those kids grow up.
Yeah.
Her cousins' kids.
Oh man.
But all this stuff was like yesterday to me.
Okay, let's see. What else I've been reading lately? I haven't technically read it this week, but in regards to just comics I've read recently, like off and on, I've been reading the Fable series. I don't know if you've read any of those.
I've seen them for sale on shelves.
Yeah, it's really well done. I think it's won the Eisner Award once or twice. Like,
I'm confusing it with the Grimm's fairy tales.
Ah.
No, what is Fable?
So Fable, like, it it does. It takes a lot of the fairy tales basically, but makes it as if there's like a fairy tale world, like a separate dimension almost that they all live in. But then some evil entity is attacking all of them in their world, so some of them have to go into our world and start living in our world, and they start their own like cities and stuff, and,
Cool.
and like so they're trying to hide their power. Those of them that have powers, you know. So it's got like all the classics, many of them Grimm's, you know, like Red Riding Hood, you know, Little Boy Blue. They just had one with Sinbad, and
Cool.
you know, coming
cool.
in from a different part. They had one with Geppetto, and Geppetto is like he's kind of like a godfather, but he's made an entire race of wooden people from the sacred wood, you know, and stuff like.
Sacred wood.
And it's like, I think it's a mature comic, so it has like mature themes and language
okay.
and stuff.
Well, that blows out my plot to get my wife into comics with it, since she loves Once Upon a Time.
I mean, she might like this. Like, it's not like, it's not hardcore in terms of like, it might be like if it was a TV show, it'd probably be TV 14 or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe PG 13 if it was a movie. So it's not hardcore.
Okay.
So it might not be mature rating.
Because, you know,
But it's definitely like PG 13, TV 14. You know, I don't know what the comic equivalent of that is, but they just say 14 plus, 13 plus. I don't even remember. I know I've seen the ones that are like 18 plus. I mean, that's kind of a given. That's obvious. Or 17 plus or whatever.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Anyway.
My wife's like Captain America. She wants me to watch my language now. But I'm picking about mature rating. But that's cool, man. Maybe I'll check that out sometime.
Yeah, no, it's done pretty well. Just I've read a few off and on over the years. Like, so I was reading another one not too long ago, and I read a little bit of Invincible.
Oh, yeah, I want to get into that.
So I hadn't watched the series at all
Read some of the
on
comics.
Amazon, but I started reading the comics on
Yeah.
it, and yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It was
I
like,
love the art style.
I didn't get super into it,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, like read a little bit of that, and so what else? Yeah, honestly, since I got like the few times I've had Kindle Unlimited, where they have this tie-in with Comixology, and you can read certain ones.
Really? With Kindle?
You can read like volume 1 of certain
Cool.
series for free. So I've read quite a few. But then I'll also every now and then I'll stop by Sailfish Comics and get something that looks interesting.
Yeah.
Get something new. So
Having a brain fart right now.
anyway, that's some of the stuff I've been reading. So I guess we'll stop this segment and then we'll transition into what are we watching, which tonight was The Long Halloween. And we're back.
We are back.
Now we're going to review the DC animated film The Long Halloween, Part 1.
Part 1.
Parte uno.
Yeah,
I don't know how to say Halloween in Spanish.
I don't know.
Halloween.
Dios Muertes. I don't know.
I
don't know
I
Spanish.
did learn a little bit more about the backstory of Halloween.
The actual
dates
Halloween.
back to Celtic mythology.
Yes.
And like the caves in Ireland, you know, spirits could come out.
I did a
on
paper
All
on
Hallows
this.
Eve. Did you? Cool.
Yeah, like a brief paper. I can't remember.
Anyway,
I can't remember why I did the paper. I didn't know about the caves, but I did know. I did some very surface level digging, I guess.
well, I've got a lot of. Well, I say always, but I've long been interested in Celtic stuff.
Cool. Cool.
And found out I have a good bit of Celtic blood in me. I'm 35% Scottish, you know. I mixed up my Irish and Scottish there. But yeah, and I'm also, was it like 8% like Nordic? You know, like Swede. I think it was Swedish. Yeah, 8% Swedish.
Oh, that's right. You got the? Did you get that
Ancestry, yeah.
Ancestry.com?
But yeah, like the
I need to
biggest
do that.
percentage came up as Scottish, which is
I'm
cool.
going to be disappointed if I'm not like partially Jewish.
Oh yeah.
But I'm kidding. I love the Jewish people.
Anyway,
yeah.
we're getting off at tangents again. We need to stay focused
Yes,
here.
we do.
So, Long Halloween. So you had seen it already.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I have not read the comic. And you?
But I've read the comic, but I hadn't seen the film yet.
I've seen part 1 and 2 back to back in the same day. Not today, obviously.
Yeah, but relatively recently. Yeah.
Yeah, a few months ago.
Okay, so your memory is fresher on it. It's been quite a while since I read
maybe
the
last
comic.
year, actually. I can't remember. It was right before I ended my subscription to HBO Max.
I remember where I read it now. So when I bought Batman Begins years ago, it came with a copy of the Long Halloween, or at least it was part of the Long Halloween. It was like the beginning of it.
Oh, really? So you didn't get to read the whole thing?
No, I did eventually. Like,
oh, okay, great.
I either bought it or I like got a cup of coffee and read the whole thing at Barnes and Noble.
Yes, we've all been guilty of that.
Yep. I don't remember which. Like, I usually felt a little guilty doing that, so I'd wouldn't read the whole thing. You know,
except when the comic book shop owner gets mad at me.
Oh
Tells me,
yeah.
I'm not a library. That happened once.
Well, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, you know. Actually, that was selfish earlier.
Yeah,
sorry, Brett.
Yeah.
That was like a decade ago. I don't use them as a library anymore.
No, because that's their livelihood, so they don't want people just standing there reading a comic.
I remember one time a random parent came in, and they were like, "What are the age ratings? Why does Spider-Man got an A on it?" And I was like, "I don't know. I thought A meant adult." And Brett shooed me away.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I need to learn about the age rating systems and not talk to other people's customers.
So, had you heard about the Long Halloween? You know, before. I'm assuming you had heard about it before you watched it. Like, you
famous.
Because it's well known in the Batman community, the DC Comics realm.
Yeah.
Influenced like the Nolan trilogy and obviously the newest Batman film, probably even more so, or at least certain elements of the Long Halloween are definitely inspired. Kind of the police procedural aspect of the most recent movie.
Right. And I can't remember right now exactly what parts in the Long Halloween found its way into the Batman film, but probably Falcone's father bringing a young Falcone to get operated on at Wayne Manor by Thomas Wayne. Probably that came from Long Halloween, but I don't remember right now.
Well, I think
that was a flashback. It might not have been Long Halloween.
Yeah, definitely. Well, no, it was because they talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think they did, or at least they talked about.
I think they implied.
They talked about the connection.
One.
Yeah, like the connection the Falcone family had with Wayne, and then on the yacht scene, talked about that they built a hospital together, like the Children's Hospital, or whatever.
Oh wait,
that Thomas Wayne worked together with Falcone to get a Children's Hospital built.
And I just remembered, it might have come from Long Halloween originally, but the Batman Adventures Continues comic, which I was subscribed to until I forgot to update my debit card information with DC's mailing list, they actually put that backstory into the animated series universe, depending on whether or not one believes the comic book series that's out right now is a part of the same universe or not. It's supposed to be, obviously, but you know. So they had that in there, and so they inserted that into the backstory of Batman the Animated Series. Thomas Wayne working on a young Falcone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should remember.
I did read that. I own that comic.
Was Falcone? I don't know if he was in the original animated series or like I don't think.
I don't remember right now. I remember what Fat Tony or something. I can't remember. It's
they had
a long
Daggett.
time.
They had Daggett, and like he was sort of the gangster type.
Was
like,
he the fat one with the white hair?
No, that was who was that? That wasn't Daggett. That was dang it. Can't remember his name now.
Maybe that was.
But I know who you're talking about. Like
Maroney.
I can
Was
see.
that Maroney?
No, I don't think either one of them existed in the comic world yet at that point, and they weren't in the animated series. I don't think.
It's been so long, I forget when these things were written.
It's even I don't know that they were introduced in the Long Halloween. I think they pre-existed.
I'm pretty
I think they existed before the Long Halloween.
Okay, I'm pretty positive there was a Falcone in the anime series because I just remember the voice actor going Falcone, but I don't know.
It could be.
I own it. I should rewatch it.
What did you think of I didn't like the actor who did the voice of Falcone in this. I didn't like him at first, but then later, like I picked up on a little bit more of the accent. So I was it got better. But like initially, I was like, he sounds too young. Was my first thought. Like,
honestly, I didn't really notice. Didn't really have any issues with his voice. All right.
You got some notes there. So
yeah, I got some notes here.
What's your first note?
I didn't have any notes on Falcone, but I did have notes on or thoughts, if I didn't write it down, on some of the other characters. You know, I know this film does not take place in the animated series universe, but to me, watching it the second time, it feels like it could, and I love that about it. It's like a big shout out. I love the art style. I love the Art Deco designs of Gotham City. Yeah. The shadows, the coloring, it just reminds me so much of the anime series. And
I wonder if they drew it on black. You know,
maybe I don't know. Maybe
I don't know if they do everything on computers nowadays.
Yeah, this is probably digital. I don't know.
But because I know for the anime series, like the hand drawn cells and stuff, they use black backgrounds, which was such a cool idea.
And I loved the art designs of Commissioner Gordon. I mean, Selena was different. I loved her as Catwoman in this. And
she did look a little different than the comic. Gordon looked very younger, very similar.
Selena herself, I think she had a little different personality. I mean, everyone's younger in this anyway. I love little Batgirl, little Barbara Jr.
Oh yeah.
With her freckles and her teeth. She's so cute and adorable in this. By the way, Batgirl Barbara Gordon is my favorite Bat family member.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, to be really honest. Absolute favorite.
I think she's mine too. Because like, she's obviously cool as Batgirl, and I loved her in the animated series. Like,
absolutely.
And then of course when she becomes Oracle, like she reclaims her life, like, and continues fighting crime.
She's a redhead,
even after she got shot and traumatized. By the Joker. By the way, if y'all haven't watched or read The Killing Joke yet, be warned. It's
hide your children.
It's very intense. It's not for kids, that's for sure. Although most Batman isn't nowadays. Oh yeah.
Joker has his kids whip around Commissioner Gordon for a little there.
His weird.
That was weird. Weird
demon
imagery.
Children.
That was some weird imagery right there.
Oh yeah, because they're naked. You know, it's like
everybody's naked.
Yeah, it's an important story in the Batman universe, but it's not one of my favorites to read or watch.
Yeah.
Like,
of course, that's not what we're viewing tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill came back for this. So Mark Hamill did the voice of the Joker.
Yeah. Different hair. Love the Joker still.
Oh yeah,
Joker energy right there. I love it. I mean, the character had different art style, not Mark Hamill.
Yeah, and like he still has the classic Joker mannerisms, but the nice thing about when Mark gets a chance to do one of the movies is that usually it's darker. You know, it's more. I mean, his first foray with that was like all the way back in Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh yeah,
like they were able to go a little darker with it being a PG rating and stuff like. So that, in my opinion, like until the Nolan series, like that was the best Batman movie.
I'm still torn about the Nolan Joker. I won't argue it was a great performance though.
Yeah, but very different than than
yeah.
Hamill. Like, very different than Nicholson too. Like, I feel like Nicholson was like a failed attempt at channeling Cesar Romero.
I haven't watched that in years.
Yeah, well, I rewatched it for one of these episodes actually early on in the podcast, and I didn't ended up finishing it because I didn't have time that day. But like, because I was trying to give it another chance. It's like because the first time watching it, because I had been spoiled on the animated series.
Spoiled.
I might have even seen one or two of. I definitely had seen Batman Begins before I saw Tim Burton's Batman, and yeah, like. But after getting spoiled on Mark Hamill's Joker, like I couldn't get into Jack Nicholson, and then Michael Keaton was just so stiff as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Honestly,
well, one of the reasons he was so stiff is because the costume, he couldn't turn his head.
Oh no, I mean as Bruce Wayne, he was just stiff.
I'm joking.
He had like no emotion, but in a bad way. Like it's not. Because, like, with Robert Pattinson's performance in The Batman, like, he doesn't... You sense the undercurrent of emotion underneath. Like, it's, like, just boiling under the surface. And he's, like, suppressing it, but you can see it right there under the surface. Whereas with Michael Keaton's performance, like, you just sense nothing. Like, at least I didn't. Like, I didn't sense any inner life or, like, he was feeling anything.
Oh, he was feeling something, Richard. He was feeling, oh, you're hot, I'm Batman.
Oh, yeah, he had two beautiful ladies, the first two movies. Was
every time Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne sees a beautiful woman, he's just like, I'm Batman.
It's just, I'm Batman.
Oh, you're pretty, I'm Batman.
It's a safe word.
It's a safe word.
I'm Batman.
You told me you were Batman on the first date. I thought you were joking.
Bruce? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, by the way, Batman performance. So Jensen Ackles did the voice of Batman / Bruce Wayne in this one.
I was going to ask.
What do you think of him compared to Kevin Conroy? Like,
well, maybe it's because it's late, almost midnight on Monday, but I was just wondering the whole time, is that Kevin Conroy? And you just told me it wasn't, so I know it's not now. I thought he did a good job. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention, though. I mean, I definitely enjoyed his performance as Batman. If I might be really tired because I don't sleep at night, but I must have really liked it if I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, and obviously he's
I'm
channeling some of the work that Conroy has done. But yeah, I like Eccles. Like he
must be it.
He does a good Batman. I've seen a couple of other animated movies. He's done quite a few Batman performances in the animated movie universe.
What else has he done?
He was in Supernatural. Like, he was one of the main characters. He was also on Smallville.
Oh, cool.
So he's been in the DC.
Cool. Okay.
Well, Supernatural's not DC, but like the WB world.
Now.
He's been in the Warner Brothers world for. Oh wait, it is.
No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna. But he's worked with Warner Brothers for a long time. Like ever since, like he started out on Smallville.
Well, it's in Batman by the Third Degree because they had a Scooby-Doo crossover. And Scooby-Doo is totally knows Batman and Robin.
Batman? No, that's a different superhero. Sorry, Scooby.
There are so many Batman spoofs.
Oh.
Anyway, okay, what other Batman animated films has he voiced Batman in?
Eccles?
Yeah.
I believe he did Under the Red Hood. I think he did the voice in that one.
What is that? The one?
Bad Blood. I think he might have done Bad Blood. He's done several of the newer ones. Like Conroy doesn't get involved as much as he used to these days. So I think Eccles has kind of become the heir apparent to Conroy. I'm sure they've had maybe. Actually, I don't know if they've had other people, but yeah, Eccles has done quite a few. I think.
Oh, I haven't enjoyed every person they've gotten to play Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Now I do know
I like
on the Dark Knight Returns they had Peter Weller did it like RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Yeah, the
Was
actor.
that the guy who played RoboCop?
Peter Weller. I think that's his name, Peter Weller. He did the voice of Batman, like 60-year-old Batman, on Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, Dark Knight. I thought you said Batman Returns.
No,
I was
Dark
so
Knight.
confused.
Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that fit well with that universe.
It did. Yeah, I think it did. I can't remember what movie it was, but I think it might have been a movie that co-starred Superman, but there's some movie out there I hated. Well, I disliked. Hate's a strong word. I disliked. There's one or two voice actors I disliked in the role of Batman, but it's probably just because I have I wouldn't say an image, obviously, but I have a preference in my head because I've heard Kevin Conroy's voice for so long.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, he's still. Dang. Like. I think like if I'm ranking the Batmans, and I lump, and I can include voice acting and live action together. I think I'd have to rank him number one. I believe Robert Pattinson would be. Well, actually, dang it.
Did you know Kevin Conroy has played Batman in live action too?
Has he? Oh yeah, and he did a little cameo in the. Was it the Flash?
At least one episode. Did you see that?
I haven't, but I saw like a photo from it,
okay.
and I like somebody was posting about it. I was like, But yeah, I think he'll probably always be my number one Batman. My number two, like, dang, because they're in different seasons of life. Because I liked both Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, me too.
So they're almost like a tie, but like they're like older Batman. Like Affleck did a really good job, I thought, and I thought he would, because like I had seen a couple of more hardcore movies that he was in, and he did a good job. But anyway, back to the film. What do you think of the art style? Do you think they did a good job?
I loved it.
Well, you haven't read the comic yet, but they showed some of
they
showed some of the panels from it in the intro.
Cool.
So you could see the art style.
I think I remember some of the art style. I remember the Catwoman costume is very different in the comic, right, than in this animated version.
It's pretty close.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking about
I think it was the headpiece was a little different.
Wasn't it purple though?
Yeah, it was a little more of a purple hue.
I am thinking of the same thing though. I think it was purple, and didn't they have yellow claws or something, or an emphasis on the claws? And the cat ears were bigger. The cat ears were different.
Yeah, they did tweak her a little bit, her costume.
I think that the animated version draws a lot of inspiration from the animated series of the 90s. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I liked the editing, and like the pacing was good. Like it felt like the comic. Almost. Cool. Like, if that makes sense. Like, and they did 2 parts, so like they were able to slow it down and like really pace it out. Like, excuse me.
What did you think of the art style?
I liked it. Like, although Harvey Dent kept reminding me of Archer.
I have not seen Archer.
I haven't either. But like,
right? Okay.
Yeah, I
was it the same voice actor?
Oh no!
Okay.
No, just the art style kept reminding me.
Okay.
Harvey Dent's face like kept reminding me of Archer. I don't know if they have any of the same artists working on the two of them, but it just made me think of that. But yeah, like it had a different feel than the other animated movies. Like they were very much trying to capture a different tone with it, I felt. And yeah, trying to do like at least an homage to Tim Sale's work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which like I found out it's interesting. That. Like, so I was watching. I think I sent you the link to it. I was watching or listening to an interview he did with Talent Search. I think is Talent Talk.
Oops.
I think it's Talent Talk.
I actually touched my mic.
YouTube channel, like. But apparently Tim Sale is colorblind.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he does not do any of his own coloring. He just does the inking. Is that the right word? Like the
Penciling, inking.
penciling and inking.
I mean, to be
he
honest,
he does shading as well.
Yeah.
Like he does his own shading.
I think that black and white comics are very beautiful. I think I almost prefer them, or maybe I do prefer them over color. But it takes someone who truly knows what they're doing to make a good black and white comic, because color hides a lot of mistakes in an artist's work. It really does.
No, that makes sense. Like he, oh man, that reminds me of back when you remember that iPod I had, like way back in like 2007. Like I had the iPod that had the little screen on it.
I don't remember.
Like, this is 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. But I had this. They had this series. I don't know if it's still on iTunes, but it was animated comics. It was called Batman Black and White.
Oh yeah, no, I remember you showing me that back then.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was really cool. Like, and yeah, I like animated comics. Like, it's interesting. Like very very much a strong emphasis on the voice acting, obviously, with not as much animation going on, but still, it feels cool. Like
cool.
I've always liked those, but also made me think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, wasn't the original?
Oh, black and white.
Yeah, wasn't it originally black and white, or isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like the original.
We could
comics.
do a whole thing just on that. But yeah, the original was just a one-off. I mean, Peter Lard and Kevin Eastman never thought they'd make more than one issue. It was a unlicensed Daredevil spinoff. Yeah. Of course, the origin of the Turtles have been edited and changed, so it's not relying on Marvel Comics anymore. But yeah, Matt Murdock buys 4 pet turtles, and he's taking them home. Little boy Matt Murdock in New York City. He's taking them home, and he gets hit in the head with some sort of radioactive canister, a barrel or something, a toxic waste or something. It splashes out, blinds Matt Murdock, and it gets on the turtles, and the turtles fall down a sewer drain. That is the original origin of the Turtles.
That's hilarious.
Kevin and Peter were really huge fans of
Daredevil's pets.
Was that Roger McKenzie that created Daredevil? I don't remember right now. No, it was Frank of Batman. The Dark
Miller?
Knight Returns. Yeah, Frank Miller.
Okay. He created Daredevil?
Well, maybe he didn't create Daredevil, but
he did. He made his name with Daredevil in the 80s, maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember if... Maybe Roger McKenzie created Daredevil. I don't remember anymore. I mean, they both... Roger McKenzie... Well, they're both writers, aren't they?
I haven't heard the name, so I'm not sure.
Well, Roger McKenzie's definitely a writer.
Frank Miller does his own writing, I think.
Yeah.
I think he does his own writing and art. He does everything.
I was confused.
I mean, he probably
that.
has some people that help with coloring and such, but I think he does both.
Yeah, but Frank Miller, I don't remember who created Daredevil right now, but Frank Miller, it was Stan Lee. Stan Lee created everything. Ha 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 ha. Screw you, Steve Ditko. No, kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a long story.
Oh,
I'm joking about Steve Ditko.
Sort of like the Bob Kane, Bill Finger thing in DC, where Stan takes credit for everything.
Yeah, it's rest his soul. Anyway, joke though. I'm being very irreverent nerd tonight.
That's right. Well, we should probably wrap this up. So, 2 thumbs up for this movie. We're doing the Siskel and Ebert rating system.
I'm giving it 2 thumbs up, and I'm giving an extra 3rd thumbs up for Batman giving Grundy a Thanksgiving dinner, because that's my Batman.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And Batman and Catwoman just need to get married already.
I know it, damn it. Like, at least in Dark Knight Rises, they run off to France together.
Yeah. They almost got married in the last decade of comics, but the writer got replaced and it didn't happen or something.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those where it's the constant will they, won't they is more interesting than if they actually got married. But yeah, they got to do it at some point, at least one iteration where
I think they did it in Earth 2.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, and the Huntress is their daughter in Earth 2.
Really? Okay, interesting. Yeah, I like the Huntress character. I first found out about her through the Batman No Man's Land novel.
Oh yeah,
through
yeah,
Greg
yeah.
Rucka.
Oh, I need to read those.
Yeah. Then later I saw her in some movies and then some comics and stuff. But I think that was my first exposure to her character, though, was through because she's like protecting and she's trying to fill in the gap while Batman's gone at the beginning of like almost the first half of the novel. Like Batman's gone, he's just not any, he's in the first act, I guess you will, and then he finally comes back to Gotham.
Oh yeah, are we talking about Catwoman? I zoned out.
No, it's okay. Anyway, okay, we need to wrap this up because we need to get to bed.
If it's okay, I got one important burning question. The last thing.
Yeah.
I know the truth because I've seen both part 1 and 2,
mm-hmm.
and you don't remember what you read in Long Halloween because it's been a long time. So you're the only one between the two of us that doesn't know who is the killer. Who is the holiday killer?
Yeah, so it got me a bit.
I'm not going to answer.
Because, like, I was thinking it was... wait a minute. So, I've got several different things running through my brain. Like, I was thinking it was Alberto. But what I'm thinking now is that he did do some of them. But then Dent also got involved in some of it. But I don't remember if there was a third person involved or not. So I feel like there was more than one. But I may be wrong about that. It's been so long since I read the comic.
Are you sure it wasn't the Joker since he likes his multiple choice answers?
Oh, yeah. Well, I know that much. I know that it wasn't the Joker.
No. Well, why the baby bottle nipple?
It's a silencer. But it was it's also supposed to be like a signature. You know, like serial killers like to leave a signature. You know, so he leaves something to do with the holiday there. You know, like pumpkin the first time, and then a snow globe at Christmas, and I forget what he left at Thanksgiving. Like just a lot of blood.
A lot of blood. It was turkey blood. Pumpkin pie. Maybe they left a slice of pumpkin pie.
But if Alberto didn't do anything, then I'm like, poor Alberto. Alberto shot to death and then chopped up.
So
Game shark chum.
I want to talk about. We'll have to talk about more of that later after we finish watching part 2.
Yeah, maybe we could do that next week and do part 2 next week.
But before we watch part 2, I just want to say I don't know why. I know why there's a baby nipple. I don't know why a baby bottle nipple. Baby nipple. That's weird. Baby bottle nipple. But I don't know why the killer is leaving holiday things. Are they trying to pin it on Calendar Man? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Maybe I'll remember after we watch part 2. But
yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah, I don't recall either. But yeah, we're right up at 30 minutes with this review, so we need to stop. So, nerds, to finish out the episode, Will and I will be doing our weekly segments. I'll be doing a sci-fi focus. This week I'll be talking about the one and only James T. Kirk in my Captains of Star Trek series. And then we'll be talking about what?
It's been over a decade since I originally watched it. I've been catching up on it to talk about it. I like to talk about slightly more obscure things you might not know. So this time, I'm talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle OVA. Yes, that's right. The Japanese only never came to America Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle anime. It only lasted for 2 episodes.
Nice.
And it was created only to sell toys. But I will talk about that later.
Sounds great. All right, guys. So stay tuned for those 2 segments. It'll be coming up right after this message from our sponsors. No, just kidding.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Make money.
Yeah, eventually. Let's do it, man.
This is brought to you by Duff Beer.
Yeah, we just need to get more listeners first. So, hey, guys, tell your friends. You know, all 2 of our listeners. You know, tell your friends.
Let them listeners.
I don't know. Like it tracks it by individual devices. So it tells you like how many discrete listeners you have.
Okay, I'm picking.
But then I know a few of them. Like I like to go and preview it myself sometimes to see how it sounds on different platforms. So I know some of them are me. But I had one person from Hong Kong, believe it or not.
Wow.
So thank you. whoever you are from Hong Kong.
Whoever you are.
Yeah, and as you said, feel free to leave a voice message. We can include it in a future episode. And reach out on Instagram. It's at Irreverent Nerd. At Irreverent. I believe it's at Irreverent_Nerd. That's right. At Irreverent_Nerd. On Instagram, you can DM me there. I manage the account there. And at this point, I'm the only one posting, but Will may eventually send me some stuff to put on there. Because now we are a joint effort. So, anyway. Yeah. So, coming up next, Sci-Fi Focus, then Japan Jaunt with Will, and that'll finish up this week's episode. As always, thanks for listening, fellow nerds.
This is cartoonist Will, and welcome to today's Japan Jaunt. On today's Japan Jaunt, we're going to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles anime OVA. That's right, there actually was a Ninja Turtles OVA. It is obscure. It released in the 90s. Actually, the first episode released in 96 and the second episode released in 97, and that is it. There were only 2 episodes, each lasting 25 minutes long, and the name of this anime is goes by 2 different names. The Japanese to English name is Mutant Turtles Superman Legend, although I believe that some people are calling it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Legend of the Super Mutant. Anyway, what's interesting about this anime, well, first of all, it was only created to sell toys. Big shocker for TMNT back in the day, right? No shock at all. So the toys were released in 1995. There were 2 toy lines, the Super Mutant toy line and the Metal Mutant toy line, or Metal Mutation, I think. I don't know that these toys ever came to America. I believe that these were Japanese exclusives. As a matter of fact, the anime itself is a Japanese exclusive. There is no English version of this, and I looked, but I couldn't even find a fan dub. If there's a fan dub out there, I don't know about it. Anyway, so what is this about? Well, first of all, it's a continuation of the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. Yes, it is. It is in continuity. The character designs for the 4 turtles, Splinter, Rocksteady and Bebop, Krang, and his robot, they all stay the same. Technodrome, as far as I know, is the same. The humans, like April, however, are now drawn in an anime art style. Shredder gets a overhaul in his character design, and I realize now why that is. In the toy line for Super Mutants, even though in this cartoon Shredder mutates into this dragon-like thing, the toy line just has him looking like Super Shredder from Turtles Movie 2 or something. So that is actually his standard form in this anime before he mutates. A little bit of a bummer. Like I said, the toy line came out first, and these were created later to sell these toys. Anyway, and it was put out onto TV Tokyo back in the day. But all that details, I'm sure you guys can find quite easily on Wikipedia and whatnot. Let's dive into this episode. The episode of episode 1 starts out giving us a little catching up of an episode that doesn't exist. It says, last time on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Turtles are in Dimension X, so they're in the Neutrino Kingdom. You remember the neutrinos from the original series? One of the first few episodes of that series, as they're preparing to fight the giant Krang, I believe would be appropriate to say Kaiju Krang, ha ha ha. But anyway, in the original 87 series, we met the neutrino teenagers in their hot rods. Anyway, so that's a reference to that. So in this prequel that doesn't exist, it explains that the Turtles released Chris Mew, maybe a play on Crystal Mew, I don't know. Mew is a Japanese word for silence, by the way, if I remember correctly. They released the good spirit of hope and light, Chris Mew, out of her Mutastone imprisonment, and she in turn, and basically she's a fairy with wings, if you wanted to know. She's an anime fairy, a little tiny anime fairy. Hey, listen! Anyway, So she gives the turtles 4 mutastones. Quick note, in the toy line, Splinter had a mutation, but that does not happen in the anime, thank God. Anyway, because all the mutations are quite ugly. Every single one of them. I hate Shredders. Anyway, so speaking of that, Rocksteady, Bebop, and Shredder also get mutastones when they steal the Dark Mutastone, which imprisons Dark Mew, the twin fairy sister, dark half, whatever, of Chris Mew. And so they escape to the Technodrome. The turtles go back to New York. Our episode begins. Basically, what's happening is as Krang is trying to awaken and break Dark Mew out of her imprisonment in the Dark Mutastone, stars in our Milky Way galaxy start disappearing. An astronaut up there on a shuttle gets freaked out, and there's this running joke about how NASA doesn't believe him and just claims he left his glasses at home. What time is it? I think that our Japan shot's almost over. There's just a lot to cover here. It's really great. Well, point taken, it's just really weird, and it's just wonderful. I think it holds up a lot better than the actual 87 cartoon series, and honestly, we should have gotten this instead of the next mutation, which I love Venus de Milo, but on all accounts, terrible show. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. So the Turtles OVA, the first one, Turtles basically turn into these green humans wearing armor. They're Power Rangers. It's a Super Sentai genre for episode 1. Chris Mew does break out of her prison. She does the whole Rita thing, from Power Rangers, Rita Repulsa. She make my monster grow on Shredder, zaps him. He turns into a kaiju dragon. Yes, it happens. New York is completely destroyed by a tsunami due to Dark Mew trying to destroy the Earth, which is Krang's plan, because he's just fed up. He's like, I'm not going to conquer Earth. I'm just going to destroy the thing. Anyway, so... and the Turtles have this ability to turn into what's called the Super Turtle Saint, and they can fly in outer space. Splinter is a complete and total bad butt. Yes, because Captain America wants me to watch my language. Yes, a complete and total bad butt in this show. It's an anime. There are key attacks, not by the Turtles, but by Dark Mew. Dark Mew throws a spirit bomb from straight out of Dragon Ball Z at Splinter, and you know what he does? He stops it with his bare freaking hand and throws it aside. No, wait, did I say Dark Mew? That was Kaiju Shredder that threw the spirit bomb, but it's still freaking amazing, man. So the episode ends with the Turtles turn into the unified one-person Turtle Saint, but they cannot unify their minds to control the body properly, so Chris Mew has to sacrifice herself to stop Dark Mew and imprison both of them. There's some anime boob bouncing and jiggling here. If this had come to America, it would have been censored. Anyway, and hilariously, the astronaut in the shuttle saves the turtles because this Turtle Saint mutation only lasts for 3 minutes or 100 seconds, depending on if you believe the subtitles or what the screen actually says. Yep, there's some English that says 100 seconds when Splinter shows him a little hourglass. Speaking of which, he's a total bad butt. He astral projects like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi out into outer space to tell the turtles, hey, your time's almost running up. So anyway, you know what? Let's talk about episode 2 in our next Japan jaunt. Anyway, until then, this is Cartoonist Will. Take care. Bye.
Captain James Tiberius Kirk, the adventurist. Courageous leader, faithful friend, protector of the oppressed, interstellar ladies' man. Yes, he is all of these things. And the man has gravitas. I just rewatched the TOS episode, Court Martial. Kirk's commitment to his integrity, even in the face of dire consequences, is admirable. He inspired the loyalty and trust of his two closest friends, Spock and McCoy. These men were willing to disagree on record with the computer log evidence which bore no obvious signs of tampering, and yet they staked their reputations on their captain's character. This is the kind of loyalty Kirk inspires. And let us not forget, the man knows how to have fun. Granted, that fun frequently got him in deep shit, but he somehow managed to get out of it over and over again, until he didn't. The Star Trek film, which many consider their favorite, The Wrath of Khan, shows Kirk finally forced to reckon with his own mortality. He loses his closest friend, and he grieves. Who of us who have seen Kirk slumped down against the glass, back to back with his friend, eyes staring, longing for it not to be true, and not felt something? Damn it, Jim. You're a human after all. So very human. Is that not enough? I think it is. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode. You can follow us on Instagram at irreverent_nerd. That is at irreverent_nerd. We also have a YouTube channel, appropriately titled Irreverent Nerd. If you'd like to leave a voice message to be included on a future episode, go to anchor.fm/irreverentnerd/message and drop us a line. Until next time, our fellow nerds, make it so. May the Force be with you. Avengers assemble! I'm Batman.